people of the world, welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey and Wade Show with me, your host, Tommy Mac.
And me, your better host, currently beat up, but more than she is, Tyrone McKenna.
And you know the crack by now, we are in association with the best whiskey in the land, the one and only Dragon Claw whiskey.
Boom.
So make sure you give it a try, give it a whirl.
Once you have a word on that, you won't go near any other whiskey ever in your life.
Yep.
I don't even drink whiskey and I'm drinking that.
He's addicted now. We're actually trying to get him in the AA after he got a sip race.
Interventions going on and everything.
But as you can see, folks, we're joined today by a very, very special guest. The ultimate, I was going to say the ultimate king, but the Goblin King.
The Goblin King?
The Goblin King himself. Funny man, singer, guitar player, raider, does it all. The one and only Kieran Bartlett.
Hi, how's it going?
I am choking to know why you're called the Goblin King.
It started off as a whole joke about like having, like it basically I right, fuck me, right? So it's literally a whole thing about like I meant to love money, right? And so that I would have a wee team of goblins. This is how it started. Like Shane of all people go, you love money. The money told himself, going like, going like, you love money, and like saying like I would be like I made some joke about being out like in like the fountains in Castle Court, you know, with a magnet, like, you know, and then he was like, would you not just have a wee team of goblins do that? And then it just became the Goblin King. Like,
he'd be right up your street, Tommy.
We should join forces.
It's not even. I don't even think it's that true. Do you know how I think this happened? It was like me just going like, I don't love doing shit for free.
Yeah. Well,
who
does like doing shit for free?
It's like comedians though would be like, sometimes in comedy it's like people are like, here, can you come and do this gig? And they'll go, oh, it's for charity. And you go, what's the charity? And people go, I don't know. You go, well, nah. Sounds like I'm doing it for you.
But Tommy says yes to gigs. I hear him saying yes to gigs. I go, how much you get paid for? He goes, I don't know yet. And like, you can't just say, I don't know yet.
I was made to feel bad today for asking for £100 for 20 minutes, which is shite. Like, but made to feel bad on account of the fact that it's at a dinner after this football match on Saturday that I'm.
So you have to work for free? That's like someone phoned me out here after this charity football. Can you do a few rounds boxing? No, I'm not doing that.
And £100, see the £100? It's not because I want £100. I want 500. But it's me going here.
Just to make a point.
I'll just go, do me something so I'm not fucking leaving the house for free.
That's
I'm leaving something.
But I seen you got endorsed recently by Fenley, Tyrone.
Tyrone have come on board.
There's been a lot of pranks on it. I've seen Paddy pranked you.
I was telling Tommy about this last week. Paddy pranked me so good that when a couple of weeks ago somebody phoned me who was a bit weird, and I literally in my head went, is this Tommy McCarthy? In fact, I'm saying in my head, I fucking said it. I went, is this Tommy McCarthy? I don't know why I still do this, by the way. I did as well. I was like, is this Tommy McCarthy? And I went, is this Aaron Butler? And the guy's just going, no, but he was really weird. And it was some shit to do with the script I was writing, but I've never spoken to this guy at all in my life. And he shouldn't have even had my fucking number. And then, like a couple of days later, I get a call off the guy who I actually work with going, here, did some fucking moron ring you the other day? And I'm sitting going, that phone call finished with me saying to the guy, literally went like this, I went, here mate, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang up now and block your number. And the guy just went like this, okay, like that. And I was like, I thought you
thought you were going to be on the Whiskey and Wade Show.
Yeah, because me and Chloe have been watching it and like seen some pranks and stuff, and then I was going, this could be them, it could be Paddy again. I don't think it's Paddy because it was like an English kind of accent, but it was an odd accent, so it sort of maybe sounded like somebody from here doing an accent, you know, and I'm going, what's happening, like, and then it turned out though that he was just ridiculous, but the things he was saying were sort of like, it was like stuff that you could find out about me if you googled, you know, like, oh, you used to be with this agency but now you're not, and I'm going, yeah. Tommy.
How did you get into or get
Tyrone? They just
a random one.
Yeah, I just right. So last year we had this bit where how did that start? Like, yeah, all about like people were just yelling Banshee Bones at me in the street, right? Like it was.
Oh, what was it called?
Banshee
Bones.
The what?
Banshee
Did
Bones.
we skit to doing Shane?
Yeah. So
Great
this
skit.
was like,
Well,
see, like
before
last
it.
year though, people were just. I said something about Banshee Bones on a podcast, and the next thing people are just literally yelling. Like I'd just be walking up to put petrol in my car, and you just hear somebody going Banshee Bones. They're like, all right, it's mental. And then so I thought it would be funny last year when we were doing a Goblin King shows to get Banshee Bones for everybody in the audience. And I realise now that if I wasn't a cheapskate, I could have just bought them myself for about fucking 50 quid. But I didn't want to spend
I don't know. Banshee Bones are very hard to come by.
Goblins. I know. Send the goblins in.
So I phoned Tyrone, and they were like, that's Tyrone in the south you need to speak to. We're separate companies.
Right.
And I got right into the middle of the Tyrone war at that point. Right? And then I was like, I ended up phoning Tyrone in the south loads and loads and loads.
The official Tyrone.
Yeah, and they just the pro police. And I just kept phoning them, and they kept fucking me about, and eventually, I think I'd had COVID and all, I think, before these gigs, so, and I was filming, we were filming like every phone call I made to them, so it just becomes, the video when we put it all together is like, I'm highly energetic in January, like energetic for me. In January, I'm awake, right? In January, and then as months go by of me trying them, I'm just getting progressively grayer and more like fucking worn out.
I'm gonna do the deal.
Yeah. And I wasn't even at a point to saying, "Are we doing a deal?" I just kept getting pushed from cunt to cunt, going like, "Who's even gonna do a deal?" Right? And it was all so grim. And then eventually I went, "Fuck this." And I went and bought a load of Haribo and gave them to people, right? And so I did a video basically being like, haha, fuck Tyrone in the south. And then when we booked the SSE for this year, I thought, wouldn't it be class to stick a bag of Tyrone on every seat? So I had my management contact Tyrone and just go, here, do you want to do that? And they were like, we love Kieran, we love to work with Kieran on stuff.
Really?
And they were going to fully do it. But we can't do it because the SSE has a deal with Walkers.
Oh, fuck's sake.
So then I was like, well, can we do a deal to put Tyrone into the waterfront? And they were like, yeah. And then about a week before, the waterfront were like, we're up for this. We're up for giving Tyrone out, but we need to try and sell crisps during the show. And I'm like, you'll sell about 10 bags of crisps, like, right,
Yeah,
anyway.
No one really goes to comedy game buys crisps.
I know, right?
Interval, the big lane for the crisps.
Fuck's sake.
Give me a double tail.
And so they ended up sending down like a couple of staff. A couple of women came down from Tyrone with like big boxes of Tyrone. We're just fucking flat out handing them out, and then did a wee video with them and like filmed it and all. And after it was class.
It's great that like you were having people shouting crisp things to do. Like my wee viral thing is about the files pick me up outside his house.
Two
Do you want any toot?
That's all we get nowadays. We get
Hey, look,
everywhere.
now, toot. Look, like we kids and all. I come out of his shop. We lad about 11, maybe even younger. Hey, you look now, toot. You're too young to be talking like that.
We were out we got sponsored an episode
Unbelievable.
by OnlyFans. We didn't show OnlyFans, did we?
Only Vans.
Only Vans, this is, by the way.
Enjoyable.
Anyone that wants a camper van for the weekend, they're legends. The camper vans are next to none. They can sleep up to 5 people.
Thrones doubling up with Only Vans and Only Fans.
Yeah.
Saying up, you see him in the back of your van, with his legs
But
behind
it was
his neck.
ridiculous. So he had just left, and me and him were in this big van, camper van, parked up beside a park, and these two guards came up. Here, can we see inside your
I
van?
was there.
And I said,
I went,
are you serious?
hello?
And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, you want to come in a man's van? And this is a week before around Holy Child, everyone got notices saying there's a guys with vans looking to lift people.
That's literally like a kid going over to like a dodgy car and going, "Have you any sweets, mate?"
They're ready to jump in, and then another group of kids came up. Here, can we see inside your van? I was like, what the fuck is going on? These are all going to get kidnapped
Like,
soon.
remember in school we used to get letters? There used to be
Every now
like
and again,
wiggly.
there's a creep hanging about in a red.
There's
Ford
one
Fiesta.
right now.
But
In Alney
I always Well, at the time I was worried. I was always vigilant, and then
You never seen it?
but you never seen it, and you never heard of the kid who they attempted to fucking grab. So I was going, is this just all lies?
I have a story. If you
Have
want
you?
one.
Do you?
Let's hear.
Let's hear the
because
story.
This
I
will
mean-
substantiate the teachers.
Right,
I always
I-
thought it was like a bluff just to make sure you stay
Well,
on their toes.
This didn't lead to a letter at school because it was over the summer.
Right.
But I firmly believe somebody tried to snatch this little prince when I was about
The Goblin
I was about
Prince?
8 or 9.
Goblin
Yeah. When the king was just a prince. I By the way, I'm collabing with an off license called Only Cans as well. But I'm
Really?
no, I'm only joking. What do you call it? I just knew if I didn't say that joke, now I was going to explode. Anyway, no. It's fucking. So I was walking down. So like, this was in the 90s, and my sister used to smoke.
Which one? Because I know them both.
Oh, so Ealing, right?
Right, okay.
Is that the one who trains in
That's it.
Trabe?
That's the was
Is
with
that the one
Faith.
who trains in Trabe?
Yes.
Yep, I know.
Right.
as well.
So she
Shout out Trabe.
she used to smoke, and my mum and dad would have smoked at this time as well. My other sister Roisin as well, right? So our Eileen used to smoke, and Eileen loved sending me to the shop for her smokes, even though I was like 8. She literally used to sometimes write me a letter, like a
good
wee
old
note,
days,
go and give
yeah.
our Kieran smokes, Eileen, right? Because she knew a girl up in the shop. So this used to happen quite a lot, and obviously I would tax her for this, you
Yeah.
know, this
Sweetie
privilege.
money.
Sweetie money, whatever, right? It worked out great for me, and she doesn't smoke and is thin, and yeah.
It's crazy that back in the day, because everyone gets sent to the shop about when you're 8 for figs for your dad or ma or whatever, and you got served them. Like, it's ridiculous.
Tom got his dad's shop a wee fine.
I know, I gotta say, because something came up. I knew he was underage, and I went, I'm still going to serve, because I was too weird. I was like, I'm not even going to hear from Brady, and then they came in about an hour later. Here, it's grand. And I went,
Fuck.
they looked old, like, they looked about 12. I was like, come on.
You have to be 18.
They looked old.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so I was walking down from the shop after one of these Mayfair light runs, right? With
Fake runs.
did a wee fake run up on the Black Road, and I think I got myself like do you remember? I don't know if they still make this. Do they? Yazoo.
Oh, great.
Wow.
Of course it
I
do.
got a wee chocolate,
Unbelievable.
Yazoo,
I'm
right?
gonna get one after this.
Oh, mate, did they still do
Oh,
that?
aye.
Great.
I haven't had one of them milkshakes in ages.
That's
You
all
remember,
I used to buy.
remember the one that was called? There was one as well. It was called like Freeze or something. Fridge.
Oh, I never got them.
They were really thick, and then it put me off milkshakes.
Mm.
Anyway, let's get a Yazoo after this. But anyway, so I'm walking down after I have a Yazoo and a packet of fags, right? I'm walking down past the side of our house. So my ma's house, just give away all the details, is on the edge of the street. It's the last house, so it has a sort of bigger side garden. So I'm walking down the edge of that garden, and this guy is like a creepy guy in a car. Is like edging down. He's right against the curb in his car, and he's edging down beside me the whole way down the hill. Now this isn't like, it's not a far hill or anything, like,
Yeah.
but it's far enough that I'm going,
Yeah.
right, like what's this doing, right? And then I think a window goes down, and he goes here, and I went, and he goes, come here over a wee second, and I just went. Right, and I was about to say I sprinted, right?
It wasn't that dramatic.
I worked up a sweat, right? and I ran, and then he sped up after me, and I ran in through the side gate of because we have a wall that goes around that garden. I ran in through a side gate, being like, right? And I get into the house, and I am freaking the fuck out, being like, somebody has just tried to fucking take this guy, right? And our ones. So my mum wasn't there. It was Arielle. Arielle was there with her mate, and then one of my mates had come over from across the street, and he was sitting talking to Arielle. This was class. I went to shop my own. He was sitting talking to Arielle, and I was like I said, I was only about 8 or 9, so I meant Arielle was like 18. I came in. Basically, nobody gave a fuck about this, right? And then when my mum came back, and I told her about it, she freaked the fuck out.
They probably thought you were exaggerating.
Being dramatic, but mate, a guy pulls up the kid and goes, here.
Yeah.
And he had like, I always remember the way he looked, because he had like, do you ever see people have like their eyes are sort of sunk back in a bit, and they're sort of dark bags are like,
Yeah.
he was sort of like that,
been up
and then
all
had
night
like dark
chasing
hair,
kids.
And then later on in life, I realised he kind of looked like a mate of mine's dad, but it wasn't him.
Yeah.
But fucking weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It happened,
imagine
see,
snatching this.
My oldest daughter, right, she. Now you're saying this, maybe I'm being fucking overlooking it, but when she was about P6 or P7, she had a fear, you know, like of people snatching, because the letters were always going around school. So she was walking down the Suffolk Road, and she had this white van flew in. A guy jumped out the back, started running. I just sprinted up a Suffolk Hill, and she was like, "He was trying to grab me, a big white van." And I was like, "Wait up, car, like somebody getting out of work. Your man's pulled in. Your man's jumped out and he's running across the road. Like if he really wanted to, he'd have called you. But nah, mate, I'm gonna have to go and talk to him.
I know, mate.
It might have been the real thing.
I remember that there pretty clearly. Like it was fucking grim.
But I mind being in the house. I forgot who won the Tiro championships.
Oh,
Or
so
not
the Crisp Champions League. Well, when does this drop? When will it?
Yesterday. Is it not out yet? Okay, it's not out.
It's revealed next Tuesday.
the finals?
So the final was Walker's, Max Strong, the chicken hot wing ones.
Yeah.
Versus Tito cheese and onion.
Tiro are go-to, like they're a fundamental in the household.
It's cliche, but it's true. Tiro in a crisp sandwich.
It's the best. It's the best.
But are we talking South Tiro or
Oh no, up here. Fuck
up here?
it.
Do you
Seriously.
do you think there is a big difference between the South and the North?
Yeah.
Tiro, do you?
So the actual normal crisps,
Yeah.
And then, so what happens is like, they make Banshee Bones, but market them up here. And sometimes it'll say another crisp name on it, like Perry or something like it used to be. And then Honky Dory's.
Oh, good.
Honky Dory's or Southern Tito up here.
What?
They're made by Southern Tito, but they're marketed up here as Honky Dory's.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that mental?
This is all blowing my mind. There's Inception and fucking in the Tito world.
Mate, this was the fucking dirty war that I became involved in last year. Where you're just going like,
people aren't even talking about
I know
it.
no one talks about the collusion between Honky Dory's and Southern Tito. Like, you know what I mean? It's fucking mental.
Fuck me. I seen you got you're battling with us the week of the field.
Oh,
you're on the Saturday.
Well,
you on the Saturday or the Wednesday?
oh fuck, I'm not even sure.
We're the
We're the Wednesday, like, but
I think I know. Here's the thing, right?
you've got a peak time. You're like Friday or
I
Saturday.
would have loved to have done more at the field this year.
Yeah.
But I'm in Edinburgh for the first time.
Doing the fringe.
Yeah, so I'm doing the most rock star thing I will have ever done in my life, which is like, guys, I'm in Edinburgh. Boat home, do the fella, boat back.
Really?
Guys, I'm in Edinburgh. Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm excited about
That's
that.
a long trip for.
It's mental. And here's one. So did you see the show I'm doing in the fella? It's called like Kieran Bartlett and the Enchanted Curry Half and Half, right?
Love the title.
Here's how it happened, because somebody asked me about this morning. I was sitting minding my own business. We're about to move house last week, so it's been fucking a mad week. And out of nowhere, one of the guys out of the management team just rings me and goes, "Oh, here, we need that title and poster for the fella tomorrow." And I went, right, hung up and went, it's never been mentioned ever.
Do you make your own posters?
No, I'll get somebody to do it.
I was going to say,
But
you're a talented man.
I know, Jesus, I have no visual, like I can't do that. I was freaking the fuck out when I'm going, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm starting to actually. Do you ever just like, I'm bubbling over? You know when a pot starts to bubble over a wee bit, I'm starting to go, why don't nobody's fucking told me about this? How am I meant to be funny when I'm fucking And our Kevin was sitting there and he goes, just fucking make up something. And I went,
That's
Kieran Bartlett, like, I just made it up, sent it in, and they go, what do you want for the poster? I went, me with curry half and half.
actually good.
Is a curry half and half? Is that your go-to meal? Like, no, like,
you know I like?
not a proper. No, everyone wants like we throw away Chinese. They want something, but don't really want something. Is that your?
Do you know what I like getting? So in Elements to do a curry half and half, and then to put salt and chili chicken on top of that.
Do
In a bigger box.
The same one.
All in one box.
All in one box.
But me and you
Time.
are on opposite ends of at that block. I go to Shanghai.
Oh, really?
I'm a big fan of that place.
Shanghai Express, is that what it's called? I've never been
Just
there.
beside the gym.
See, I'm very particular about about Chinese and Indian. If I find one I like, I won't change.
What's your Indian?
I'll probably go. I think where was the last one we were going to? The Nas, probably on the Ormo.
Where's that?
That's a fucking drive. Like
Yeah, that sounds too
Normal.
Ormore.
If I'm getting an Indian delivered, I'll go Bengal Brazil.
it is good
But
actually.
if I'm going out for it, New Delhi, I think.
Oh, sorry,
Great.
you said Bengal Brasserie. Do you know what I was picturing? The one in Andytown. What's it
It's
called?
closed
Yeah,
down.
it's Bengal
It's gone?
Space.
It's gone.
Is it?
It's
Is
gone.
it?
The
I thought
one
it was
facing St Agnes's.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's done. It's opening to be a new one.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
that new
To be
Indian.
fair, it was all.
I think it may be an
empty,
Indian. That's another shop. We were talking about shops that
just
never
change
do
hands.
well.
Yeah. Andytown's weird for stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
anywhere that expects you to sit in Andytown.
Mm.
Like,
Don't do well.
like at
Yeah.
night time. It's not,
Yeah, no way. It's
not gonna do well.
Nobody wants to
People
be
wanna
sitting
go-
there anyway. Like.
You want to go out if you're going to eat out in Andytown.
You're going
you
to
go
somewhere
during the
fancy.
day.
Yeah.
You're going somewhere fancy if you're going out.
Yeah,
for a proper
but if
meal.
you're going out you're not going to go out for an Indian during the day.
No, you're going to Masons or
You'll go for a
whatever it's
fryer
called.
sandwich,
Tame,
yeah.
What's that called? Masons? That is
Masons,
what we-
yeah,
used to be
Tame.
time.
I actually met you in Masons before, but didn't know each other.
Oh, really?
I was going to say hello, but I didn't.
He's Tyrone's
We're both freaks, so I'm sitting saying I just started. There's Kieran Bartlett.
Masons would be a sandwich haunt of mine. Like when I'm in a sandwichy mood.
Yeah, that's I only go for the buffalo wrap. That's
Ah,
the best thing in the world. So
Sounds like a great song as well.
buffalo wrap.
Yeah. Does this work, by the way?
Can you play it?
I know a couple of chords. I don't know if it's tuned though. Hang on. The tune that you want to hear is dum 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 dum.
I couldn't even hear it. That's it. That's what you want. Tune.
core. This is good, isn't it?
We're gonna get in right this.
Here we go.
What I'm going for here. Because I say to be honest, I was shocked the first time I seen you sing. As in sitting there, minding my own business, doing commentary at the fights, and then he
You
comes
brought the
out
house down.
and just belts out fucking Rocky, and I could not believe what I
I
was
was
hearing.
mental to be fair. Sorry,
probably
I
the-
just fucked with your shit.
It's probably the best part of the night.
I was
loved
mental.
it. I couldn't believe
Oh
it.
no, I mustn't.
I was
I
talking
just
to-
I wanted a wee.
I said, see when you're doing
Somebody
it, I
was
was
near
like,
crying.
hello?
Who was it said it brought them to
See
tears?
how fucked my throat was that night though. Before it, like I was not well. I rang Shane during the week, being like, mate, I'm seriously not well. I had like a throat thing that went
Ring
on.
Sean. Sean's
For
gonna
like-
cover for you.
My throat was fucked for like about 3 months, and I was going, mate, I am not well. And he's like, don't pull out, please don't pull out. I'm like, I'm not pulling out, I'm telling you. And then in the sound check, the guy was like, I goes, mate, I'm gonna sing out louder later. And he goes, sing it loud now. And I went, I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I go, I'll get one chance.
Yeah.
And if you hear it back, there is one wee bit where my voice cracks because you hear like a wee, and I'm like a wee, you know, always when your voice is breaking, you know, and
Yeah,
it's
right.
like you're sitting there going, you want fries, like that there. One
But when I was listening, I was like, I'm asking Kieran to walk me out my next week. 100%. I'd love it.
I'm fully up on it.
I'd love it.
I was
See
class.
that when at the one party start going.
Oh yeah, the fucking.
Was that planned or did you
Oh
just,
yeah, no, yeah, it's real. Like that's
Do you get
that's a
nervous
technique.
doing that kind of shit?
The screaming stuff?
No, well, it's
Just singing?
They're going out to not an audience. Well, this was the word there for comedy, but
I was nervous because nobody knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I was nervous going, please don't let it be 10 fucking moments, you know what I mean? Because my throat was genuinely like fucked. I was on those, there's these wee sweeties, vocals. Yeah, my brother takes them for singing with, and the guy, he gave me a load of them, and then the guy who was doing sound was like, here, I have vocals in here. I was like, mate, yeah, hit me up with them. And I think you're meant to take like one every like hour or something that you're singing.
get the pack.
And mate, I was literally
Because they're
just
like
jamming them.
painkillers as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they're sort of numb. And here, I wonder what's in them because they taste the way weed smells.
really?
Yeah.
Anytime I take one,
Smells
somebody
good, huh?
goes, you smoking dope?
Yeah.
They're stinking wee
even
sweeties.
heard
Like,
Are they?
it's sort of like, do you know, like when you smell weed, sometimes, I'm saying this like I'm a big weed guy, I've never had in my life, but like, you know, when you smell it and there's a type of it that sort of smells vaguely like shit, it tastes the way like that.
I know what you're talking about. I'm not a weed guy either, but I know what you're talking about.
It's not for
Yeah.
me.
Tell me, Cameron, did you discover that you could sing?
Oh, I think
We're getting on like he's a big, massive singer,
I know.
ours, but
What is it?
rather
Like Tom Jones.
a comedian. He's
Yeah,
a
no, I
more
think I was singing when I was a wee kid. Like, just our whole family was
All
doing music.
singers?
All the time.
all singers.
My dad, my mum,
Miss
would've
Bartlett
been-
as well.
Yeah, they can all sing. Yeah.
I see Tyrone's son, he spoke about it on Shane's podcast.
Right.
Go, you tell him.
He come, God love him. He really wants to be a singer, and
Right.
he was growing up. And we were always telling him, feeding him his confidence. Yeah, you're brilliant, but he's no note in his head, and he sings like me, and I'm brutal at singing.
Right.
So he was singing away, and we're saying brilliant, 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 but we didn't think of anything of it. So he went into school one day, and they came into his class, and we're like, right, there's a big part of who can sing in the class really good, and he went, boom, me miss. And I went, right, get up in the front of the class and sing. And he went up, and he sung Holy Night. Holy Night! And they burst out laughing, all slaving him.
class,
Even the teacher started pointing at him, saying, you're terrible.
Dale has a man.
Oh my
And he came home,
God.
and he didn't sing for about a couple of years. He said, Tyrone, Daddy, I can't sing. You were all lying to me. Why were you lying to me? He said, look, I was just trying to build your confidence. He said, no. And his confidence was shot.
Oh,
He didn't
sad.
sing again.
That's so sad, man.
I couldn't stop laughing when he was
that's
telling the
mental.
story. The
That's
teacher was
mental.
laughing in the room.
I'm from a family of music people. All my family can sing.
Bruce, my cousin.
Let me make. Don't be
Every
tough, man.
fucking week. Every week.
But,
it comes up.
see, in P7, I was in the choir, and I've said about this, like, my comedy is only black kid in the school, so in the choir, we went and sang in this sort of a building down at Lagan, at the beside the river, just like when you cross the bridge. It's like I don't know, but it was for all old age pensioners, so it was a wee crowd.
Right, okay.
So we're all there doing a wee choir, and I had a wee solo bit, and went, right, next we're going to bring Tommy up to sing a solo. You all heard the old bass tag up before I even sang. All the wee grannies and grandmas going, man. You must have thought I was going to be a big soul singer. I sang it up. I sang, and that made me so nervous. It threw me off big time. No, the applause I got before I started. And then I got up, I was like, it was terrible.
Oh, man.
And then at the end, it was just like a wee gracious. It's not what we were expecting. Then that just put me off singing for him.
See, he was singing. Did you get into singing before you got into comedy, or
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
both
So
together?
like I was doing music before, so like my dad played guitar and sang,
Right.
and so like if there was ever like a party or anything at our house, he would have whipped the guitar out and done a load of tunes.
Is your
like.
dad called Kieran?
No, he's Jim. He was Jim. He passed away, but he could play like fuck
Yeah.
and was a great singer. But he would have been doing like he really liked like old country music, like Johnny Cash and
Yeah.
like a guy called Marty Robbins and like Hank Snow. All these like singers from like the 50s and 60s, right? And so he would have done all that, but then he did like some folk stuff as well. He would have done some Christy Moore and all of those, and then. So like my brothers then, they started learning the guitar. My sisters all would have been singing. My mum would have sang, like she was a really good singer, like in her time, like in her time, like she's fucking
In her prime?
yeah,
Yeah.
in her prime. That's what I meant to say. Like she would have sung at like weddings and funerals and like
Yeah.
led the church choir and stuff like that. So she was really good. She had a really high voice, like, and then our girls would have sung more like that.
Yeah.
And then, whenever my brothers started learning the guitar, and they were sort of playing like Oasis and like Garth Brooks and Bryan Adams and shit like that, Bon Jovi, and then I sort of coming up into that, and then I was like, I would have started learning guitar. I would have been singing anyway,
Yeah.
but then I started learning guitar at about 14, and then I was playing like whatever shit was on the radio then, like, and like
Did you start a
loads of like,
band?
yeah, I was in a couple of bands.
Were
yeah,
you?
Yeah, I was in. So my first band was called The Vibes.
The
Vibes?
Yeah, and it was me. There was another guitar player, a bass player who could also play the cello. And
Cello, we have a bass.
and a really, really good drummer, right?
Yeah.
So that drummer, I didn't realize how lucky I kind of was in a way until later. He was really fucking good, like.
Yeah.
And then I left that band and joined a band called Steer Clear, which was like a pop punk band.
Okay.
And we were pretty successful. Like, I mean,
So
we
it
were
sounds
doing,
like a good name.
we were
title,
doing
though.
like
Stay clear.
fairly big shows, like, and then I left as the band then was getting
Did
bigger.
you leave, Kieran, or were you?
Oh no, I left. It was like I look back on it. I was like
How
first
can
year.
you kick me out?
I
Oh,
was-
what is mine?
I was like first year uni, right? And I was going through some like just fucking like some fuck uni shit type
Yeah.
stuff, And everybody else in the band was younger than me. So it went like, I was first year uni, 2 guys in upper sixth, 1 guy lower sixth, 1 guy in 5th year. And so the band was really young, but like we'd CDs and all out, and like it was fucking doing really well.
Business.
And I freaked out, going like, I sort of want this. I want the music. The music was a wee bit like, it was pop punk, like, so sort of
Like Busted.
yeah, like Blink-182 and that kind of stuff would have been a big influence on it and all. And then I wanted it to go a wee bit more emo-ish at that time, like, and we were sort of doing that. And then we were signing. We were looking at getting this deal done, where we're gonna have an album. And then there was sort of talk about like that maybe putting us back into being a wee bit more like singing songs about like getting bullied at school and all. And I'm going, man, I'm 19, I'm too fucking cool for this. And I left thinking everything will be as successful as that because that's what stuff happens. You just show up and it works. And then nothing was that successful for a long time. I was in another band then called Thief, which was like a funk rock band, and then I left that. I did music for a while with Kevin as well, which was like a good way of probably starting like a nuclear war. Me and him just like, oh mate, he used to drive me up a fucking wall. So Kev's
Who
really
wins the
good singer.
fights?
Kev would win on some of these occasions in terms of like he'd be going, it's Christy Moore, fucking play fucking A minor. Don't be playing fucking A minor 7. Just fucking do what it says on the fucking page, right? And I'd be like bored out of my fucking mind. And then I would win some by going, here, can we fucking not play 10 songs that are slow as fuck? Like, can we just have something that people can move to? And then, out of Thief came this thing where me and my mate started just playing in bars.
Because I remember you played
every night of the
down,
week.
what do you call it, in Joy Street?
McCracken's.
McCracken's,
Yeah, so we would have done it there. And then, like, after, like, they didn't have, like, a license for us. But we've been playing it for years and we didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And then one night they just came in and went, there's no gig night, lads. We were like, and the guy running the night, running, like, the club night, and it was also going, what the fuck, why is there no license? And then we ended up leaving there and getting gigs in, like, Filthy's and Lily's on Lisburn Road, which is now Crafty Vintner or some shit. So we gigged in there flat out, and then I kind of Johnny left, went to London, and then I was in a wee metal band for a while called Sentient that used to rehearse just down the hallway from here, and then I was just doing my own gigs, just music. But by that stage, I'd already started stand up.
Where did you start? When did you start stand up?
So I was started in 2010, and then I was still doing music until maybe like 2016. I was still doing a bit.
I've read like you're a self-proclaimed guy that hates leaving the house. You love being in the house rather than going out. So
what would you pick to?
Two things where you have the gig in front of you. You have to be.
But if you think about this,
confident.
think about it. If you're going out on say a Friday night for 2 hours,
Then you're home for the rest.
you're
of
home
the
for the rest of the week.
No, that's true.
You know,
Yeah,
like
that's
I mean,
true.
when I was doing McCracken's, that was my part-time job. Like at uni, like I did 1 gig a week, and it was paying me more than working in Tesco. So my mates were working like maybe 3, 4, 5
you're
shifts in
working
Tesco.
and that's enjoyable.
I'm
as well.
doing a shift where we're also maybe getting, free
Tips
drink
and
and
all,
whatever.
yeah.
So,
Sometimes
See,
it's enjoyable.
that group steer clear. Did the rest of them, did they ever do anything once you
yeah,
left?
like I mean, they went
Or
on.
did
They got a new singer for a while, and then he left, and then it was just then they added like a guy to play keys, and one of the
went on to
guitarists sang for a while.
One
One
Direction.
Direction.
And then and then they played for another couple of years after I left, doing like I mean they were doing big support slots, like they supported like Paramore,
Serious?
and like
You
The
fucked
Funeral
it.
for a
You
Friend.
fucked it, Kieran.
ish. I mean, definitely I sort of look back on that and go, I wish somebody had just said to me, see this feeling that you have about uni and about it being more important and all, it'll pass, stick with us because it's good. But
Well-
nobody said that, so I just left.
Yeah.
You're heavy into like no, you're not saying you're heavy into uni, but you love books and you love educating yourself and
Yeah.
everything like that. So, I mean,
It was a
that's
hard
a
balance.
passion of yours, kind of too.
Yeah, and I sort of wish somebody had just said here, just balance it. Just, like instead of people going, oh, you should focus on one, somebody should have gone, you're more than capable of doing both these, because it definitely was.
But you're doing the comedy as well. So see when you
I
first
was
started.
I was about 5 years in between comedy and steer clear.
See when you started comedy, were you nervous as fuck or were you confident?
I wasn't nervous like about going on stage, because I was used to doing that.
Yeah.
I was more like I'll be nervous. I still be like this. I get nervous in a way that's more like, I hope this isn't shit.
Yeah.
You know, I hope people laugh at this, or especially if I'm doing new stuff, I'm like, I really hope this isn't shit.
What happens? Has it ever gone shit?
Yeah.
And what happens to you? Because I'd crumble. I wouldn't be able
So like
to face myself.
a couple of times. So there are many levels of shit.
Right. And what level have you hit?
So one night, right? So I would say generally for the first like 5-6 years, it was always all right.
Yeah.
Like even if it was shit, I would still be going,
I'm sorry.
I was fucking not too bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes there'd be screamers, right? You'd have great gigs. Mostly I was at a good level where even if people didn't like some bits or whatever, there was always something that worked, right? Never went up and totally ate shit, put it that way. And then there was like 2 gigs in the space of like maybe like 2 months or something in 2017ish maybe, where went on. I wasn't really in the form to be doing comedy before. I think my dad was only dead a few months or whatever. I should have just fucked up. I shouldn't have done it. But anyway, we went. I remember going on. Oh mate, this is so grim. I went on and won, and it was like a charity night thing. I won't get into all the details of this, but it was like a charity night thing for a guy who I believed was dead.
What?
I was told somebody's fallen off a balcony somewhere, and there had been a story in the news about somebody falling off a balcony and dying.
Yeah.
So you just put 2 and 2 together.
And I went, right, and I thought, we're doing this charity gig to raise money to like repatriate this body, like, because that's fucking grim. And I went, no problem, I'll be there. I got there. There was about 1 million comedians booked. You know yourself, like, you're going on, and I'm going on last.
Yeah.
I should have been told there's like 100 comedians on.
Before you.
Come down 2 hours after
Yeah.
I'm telling you to be here. But no, I'm there all night, and I'm just going. And about 20 minutes after I get there, I realise that the guy is sitting in the front row, and I'm going, this isn't a charity. This is just give you money. That's different. Like, I'm going, in my head, I'm going, because he didn't have holiday insurance or whatever, travel insurance.
Right.
So he'd fallen and hurt himself and had hospital bills. Fair enough. But I'm sort of going,
Get the
That's a
insurance.
different thing. Yeah.
I don't need to be here, right?
Yeah.
Kind of need to get your own insurance. Like it's your own.
That's your
thing.
there is like now I go, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Me 5-6 years ago, I'm like, that's your problem, cunt, right? I'm a nicer person now. Anyway, so I went on, or I went to go on, and the guy's mum went on right in front of me and took the microphone and gave like a speech that completely murdered the comedy vibe in the room, like a real spiritual thank the Holy Spirit that you're alive type thing. And I was standing there going, I'd love to be in the house right now, right? And I went over, took the mic, and the first thing I said was, well, cheers, mum, for fucking murdering the vibe. And then I said something like, also, I totally thought you were dead, or I wouldn't be here. And people fucking hated it. And then imagine
I thought people would be laughing like mad.
comedians loved it. Everyone that knew that guy hated it. And I tried to follow that up by being like, what was James Brown say when he calls himself shaving? See you later, right? I left so early. Willie was running that gig. He was fuming because he was out having a wee split. And I remember walking past him. He's going, what's wrong? What's happening? He's like, and I was like, fuck this. I'm never doing that again. I went home. It was shit. And then, like, literally about a month later, I was like, up to that point, worst gig of my life, right? And then, like, about 2 months later, I went on one night. And this is so grim because the night before, I'd had a fucking screamer in Lavery's, like a screamer, right? I go down to Pug Uglies. We're just there to watch. And then Dave is like Dave's dressed like he's about to play a fucking professional snooker match, right? He's in like a fucking 3-piece suit, right? Waistcoat and all. And I goes, what's the crack with the clothes, mate? And he's like, oh, I'm actually at a wedding right now, but I wanted to do the gig. And he goes, here, do us a wee favour. Will you MC the second half for me? And I went, no problem, mate. Sure, I had a fucking screamer last night. I get up in the second half. All I have to do is like 5 minutes and bring 2 people on. That's all I have to do. And, oh, mate, some girl was on her phone, and I went, "You're dead on, right? You're smart, whatever it was," and everyone that was with her just hated it hard that I was even talking to her.
Fuck's sake.
And I went, "You're sitting in the fucking front row on your phone, like I'm gonna say something." And then I said to some other couple that I was like, you know, a classic joke of mine is to go, "I'm not saying you're too old to be here, but there's a distinct smell of piss coming from your table." And
the feeling.
I know, right?
It
It murders, right? It normally murders. It's when you see somebody, it's like everyone else is sort of between 20 and 50, and then there's like a 7-year-old, you just give them shit, right? Yeah, I want them to be included, right? Because everyone usually leaves them alone. So I'm like, let's include them by slagging them. And I said this couple, and the guy laughed, and the woman hated it. And then he looked at her, and then he hated it. And then I
keep my wife's name out your mouth.
And then I tried to do this joke that had murdered in Lavery's the night before, and it ate shit. And I was just like, right, well, Willie, you're on, mate. And I brought William on, and then I came off stage, and I was sitting beside Chloe, and I went, "I need to get the fuck out of this building." And she goes, "But you've to," and I went, "I'm leaving here, like I'm leaving right now." And I think what I was doing was, my whole persona was too harsh, so it wasn't coming across as banter. It was coming across like I'm actually raging at you.
Yeah.
So I fucked it, and so those are the two worst gigs. But they were within about 2 months. I took a break for like, I think over a year after that.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you ever like
Go back and reevaluate?
Yeah.
with boxing? Like we always have these moments where we're like, "Fuck, we just retire. Fuck, boxing's doing my head in." Do you get that as comedians?
I definitely get wee moments. Mate, I'm a wee bitch. Like there'll be days where somebody will book me to do something. As soon as I say yes, I'm like, fuck. And then I'll be sitting going, "Do you know what I do a lot?" And I need to stop this. I need to try and enjoy it more. I do a lot of like looking for whatever my latest gig is in the calendar and going, you know, say it's like the 22nd of December. I'll be like, "Oh fuck, I can't wait till 23rd." And then it just means I'm not living in the present for 6 months. I'm just going.
That's why that's the same as boxing, because obviously
You're looking to the fight.
our fight's like 3 months away, so we're just looking at that and having
That's what I'm gonna do after the
we're doing plan everything for after, and then
Yeah, it's mental.
When did you decide to combine your music with the comedy, or was that always a thing from?
It's weird because like
he came down. It's still in his head. What was the thing that sticks in his head?
Well, I don't want.
Oh, he can't do that.
It's your thing.
Oh.
What does George Michael order?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it will be raised.
Fucking up after.
So whenever I was doing music, like actually just doing music, there was times where you would have had to chat to the crowd a bit.
Right.
This is kind of how it started even in the comedy. It was like, there was times where you would have had to talk shit to people, or there was times you had to basically tell people to fuck off and get back from you without going, "Here mate, will you fuck off?" Because you had to sort of go, so I'd sort of be like, "Here mate, take Emma shoes away from me," or something, you know, a way to sort of slag somebody a bit, or "I mate, here your hair sweet, will you move?" Like, you know what I mean? And sort of do it in a jokey way, or like maybe like Johnny breaks a guitar string and while he's restringing, I tell a funny story or something, right? And then when I was doing comedy, I would have fucked around and written wee comedy songs when I was at school and all. It's just something I did to make my mates laugh. And then somebody was like, I can't even remember who it was, said to me one night at a gig, "Would you never do music with your comedy?" And I went, "That's a bit fucking hack, like, isn't it? A bit fucking rare." And then I sort of went, "Actually, I'll try it. Do you know what I'll do? I'll do a gig the way I've always done it. And at the end I'll whip a guitar up and do like a song." So I had this fucking dirty song, and the first time I did it, it fucking murdered. Like, I mean, it murdered so hard, and I just went, "This is a piece of piss."
How many years in were you when you done that? Or was it
maybe like a year and a half. I think I've been doing it. Yeah, I think probably started around like summer 2011, that kind of time. I've been doing it just without it, and then
You've now just sold out your first SSE arena.
mental.
Yeah, nervous about that?
Oh, yeah. I think it's more
Sure,
nervous.
that's a big step up, and it's fucking
I think
nerve-wracking.
I think the nerves of it were more to do with like the show, like
Ticket sales.
There's a bit of ticket sale nerves. There's more.
I've had all the time
There's
about
ticket
it.
sales nerves about the second SSE
Yeah.
on sale now.
Yep. Get on.
Please do that. please do that. So I'm more worried about that than I've ever been about anything in comedy. But I have a lot of promo coming forward that'll hopefully shift some.
Promos do well for
I
anything,
know,
don't
it's
they?
fucking mental. But I think the nerves were like, so I was having, I was genuinely shitting it until a couple of weeks ago, where I was going, I don't really have much for this show. I'm up to my balls. I haven't really had time to write much new stuff. And then Shane, I was out with Shane for a cup of tea or whatever, and he goes, here, do you want to do a Limelight tonight, just a work in progress show? And I went, aye, if we can get it. And then he says to me later, he's like, actually, we can't get Limelight, do you want to do Ulster Sports Club? I think we had about 60 people in or something in this wee room, and I went, yeah. And he goes, we'll both do like 45, 50 minutes or something. I went, yeah, no problem. And then I'm going, I think I have about 15. Like, I don't really, of new shit, like, I think of 15 or 20. And I knew I had 2 songs that I've written that I've tried out in front of audiences, like twice each, and they've done well, but I haven't rehearsed them. Do you know, like, I was standing there looking at it written down, going, whatever. And so I'm going, so maybe with those of 20 or 25 minutes. And I was sort of going, right, what the fuck? And then I sat that day, I said, mate, this is so rare. Do you know where we were sitting? You know that place is called Established, right? We're in there, and we're at that big sort of, you know, I call it the wankers table. I like Established. The staff are nice.
One in the middle?
Lady that owns it was really nice one time when I was down in there. Yeah, there is a table for wankers in the middle there, where everyone's just sitting with like AirPods on and their laptops and their fucking.
I don't like the way it's laid out. Just like you have to sit beside people.
I know, just strangers.
I want my own table.
I don't like when people's leg is in my bit. I'm going, that's me.
And they can hear conversation or even look at your phone.
They can see
what
what's on your laptop and all. So I'm going, right, and this is also a truth about my laptop. I don't know how to change the background screen on it.
So
but when we
big
did,
booty Latinas.
we did. Well, it's devastatingly. It's just a picture of when that was al shish kebab. You know what I mean? No, I'm only joking. It's just a picture of an old kebab shop. No, I don't know how to change it. But when we were doing Goblin King, we used my laptop for the background. So it's the cartoon drawing of me as the Goblin King, and I don't know how to change it. Like, I literally don't know. I know I could Google it. I know I could Google it, and maybe there is a wee bit of me going, that's sweet. Right?
It's a constant beside you, just drinking a caramel macchiato, looks so
I open it, and it's me as a goblin, and I'm like, right? So I'm sitting in there, the fire alarm went off, right? Shane has just left. I'm left there going, you know, doing the Hitler glasses, going, I need to write some fucking comedy here. And the fire alarm was fully going off, and there literally was a fire somewhere in the building. And they eventually, like, this is mental. 3 fire trucks came down and eventually went, well, you just, like, get out, right? Because everybody was just sitting there going, must be bullshit. I sat and feverishly wrote 10 pages of material about the show Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares, what a show.
I know. It's all shit. Like, I mean, you couldn't use it. I goes to Chloe. She came and picked me up, and I'm reading it out. You always get Chloe's like the best person to run your material past, because if you make her laugh, you will make an audience laugh.
Yeah. Tyrone's my Chloe.
Right, okay. but if you're saying, if I'm reading this out and Chloe's reaction is that a joke? I'm like, take us car for road.
How often does that happen, Chloe?
Oh, that happens. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised how often I'll say something. She'll just go, yeah.
But I think women have a completely different
view of
like my missus, we'd be watching the funniest thing in the world, and she'll not even crack a smile. Well, she'll barely crack a smile. Yeah. She won't do proper laughs.
I think the only time, like, so Chloe's been right maybe like 50 times. I've been right once, where it was like I had a joke about Robbie Williams, and Chloe goes, I don't think people know who Robbie Williams is, and I was like, fuck.
Really? The biggest star
I was like, fuck.
In the UK?
I saw a video of him this morning from 2001, it was on Twitter, of him singing Rollin' by Limp Bizkit.
Rolling?
You should Google that.
Rolling.
Yeah, but Robbie Williams doing it, like, it's
Is he good?
No.
Alright.
No. It was on TV the other night. It must have been Glastonbury or something he was on, and he was terrible.
The other night it was Glastonbury's greatest hits.
I feel bad from now. He did. Do you know the thing BBC does on like New Year's Eve now, where they have like a concert where somebody's on? He did that a few years ago, And I'm just like, everything alright at home, mate? Like, he just doesn't look in good form.
He doesn't. He needs to pack it in.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a millionaire as well.
I'm sure he gives a fuck what I think, like, you know what I mean?
Mum.
Every time...
He'd be raising.
Every-
Bartlett, no!
Every time that fucking Angels check comes in, he's just sitting looking at me going, can't.
When
Tell
did
me
you?
this, Kim, would you rather have a sold out arena comedy tour or a sold out singing arena comedy tour?
Oh, comedy, yeah.
Would you?
Comedy.
Yeah. Yeah,
You get
now,
more buzz.
yeah, now I couldn't even do music anymore. Like, me playing is literally me fucking around. Like,
Yeah.
I'm totally fucking about. I tried, so like, a week or two ago, I was doing a wee gig up in Claudy, and recently, because my throat has been fucked for a while, I've been trying to do warm-ups before doing a gig, and I tried to play one of my actual old songs that I think is a decent song, and I tried to play it, and I was like, oh, this is scundering, like, this is fucking scundering, like, and I was just in a room on my own, just literally going, like, you lose it so quickly, like, it's brutal.
When did you know, comedy ways, that it was going to actually take off and you could actually do something with comedy?
I don't know, mate, because I still, like, I'm not being, like, a knob or anything, like, it all feels just like you're on a wee wave, and at any moment, if you stop putting the time into it, it'll just fucking go away. Like, I mean, like, the Odyssey's weird, because, like, I am excited about it, but the nerves were all about that show. I wrote all this material, couldn't use it, it was shit. And then when we went to do the work in progress, I started bullet pointing a set, and then going, actually, fuck, I have way more new shit than I thought. And it's just like, I'd maybe just, because normally I do just jot a wee bullet point. My set will just be like, you know, maybe like one side of bullet points and one side of bullet points. That's all my, because I like doing those one-liners, so I'll bullet point with one-liners. But like maybe it's like, normally it's like 2 pages of a set, and it's just maybe like 8 things. And it'll just say, you know, one of them will just say like Wonka, and I know it's like a fucking 10-minute bit about Willy Wonka. It has a song and all attached to it. But like, when I was doing that set, I started like in the Ulster Sports, I started bullet pointing and went, fuck, I've actually quite a lot of shit here. And then when I did the show, I did about 45 or 50 minutes without those 2 songs that I hadn't rehearsed, and there's another song that I have an idea for, I want to write. So I'm going, well, that's an hour, like.
Yeah.
So I've already sort of got the show. So the nerves are dissipating that way. The nerves about sales for the second show are
Where can you get the tickets?
Ticketmaster.ie.
I happy ways for that shit. I hate when tickets are going slow. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Make sure you get our tickets as well.
You know,
It's
get on, get his feel, my feel, and
It's our feel.
it's my feel. You're only
The
here.
film's going to be class though.
I can't
Devonish is unbelievable. You've done one.
we done the damage. It was sold out. It was fucking. It was our
I think I was away that night, and I'm away during the fill as well.
Were you?
So I fucking actually genuinely
We're
mad.
going to see the Whiskey and White show.
Uh-huh.
But I loved it. I was shit myself going out because that's obviously people are like, Tyrone, you're always in front of the camera, you're always doing interviews and all that shit. But public speaking is completely different to the interviews.
Yeah, no,
I'm used to that. It's easy doing that.
Also, like, I think doing a live podcast is so odd.
It's weird.
See,
It's hard, like.
I didn't know, like, before I had done mine, I hadn't really watched anyone's live podcast, and I was like, why would people want to go and watch a podcast? And I never got the hype from it. But now that we've actually done one, I started looking at others, and it's like, I actually enjoyed them. Like, I would like to go watch a live podcast,
Like,
but
I'm opening up the week before ours for Mickey Bartlett. Is he any relation to yours?
Yeah, we're cousins, are. Yeah.
So
best
just
cousins.
Can
I
he
already
sing?
asked him, but
What?
Can he sing?
No. Well, actually, I don't know. He can. I reckon Mickey can probably sing in a. I reckon he can hold a tune, but he can't sing. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, like me.
Like just the way anybody can sort of sing.
I can hold a tune.
No, but you know the way there's like some people that you can just like put it this way.
Too close.
No, but you can actually sing. Shane can sing.
can I?
Shane can really sing.
Who's the top tier of singers in
Connor
Eric
Keys.
Cowan.
Connor Keys.
Oh, actually, did he sing at the boxing?
No, he
He was MCing.
He sort of MC'd a
But
bit,
he's
yeah.
in a band. I saw videos.
He's in
of him.
a he can really sing. He's in like a Commitments tribute band.
Does he compare to you?
Oh, he's better than me. Like
Is he?
Connor's better than me. Like, yeah.
So that's bold statement.
Connor's fucking really good. Connor's like a soul and blues singer. Like he's
really?
fucking really good. Yeah.
Darren's a drummer.
Sorry.
Darren's a drummer.
Darren Matthews.
that's
He
right,
drums. somebody else plays the fucking guitar.
But there's a saying in comedy where they say,
Colin
if
plays
you
the
try and
guitar.
do music and if that doesn't work out, you do comedy. I've heard that a lot since I got on the scene.
I always feel like I was doing music,
You were killing the game?
and then like there was this point where I personally wanted to try comedy,
Yeah.
and a couple of people around me at that time were like you're funny like in our group, but you're not really that funny. And I'm like, cheers. And then
Look at me now, guys.
I stopped
The
hanging
Goblin
about.
King.
I stopped hanging about with him. And then another guy that I used to hang out with, one night we were in the Empire and we saw somebody like completely eating shit. And he was like, why are you not doing comedy? He was like, at least you're better than this cunt. And I went, right, that's a good reason to change your life. And I can be better than that guy who's bad at something. And I went like that night.
Yeah.
Down to Colin Murphy was on in the Empire, and I went down the stairs and was like, "Here, mate, gives a gig in here." And he was like, "Who are you?" And I was like,
Who am I?
"The Goblin King."
The Goblin King.
I was like, "I'm Kieran Borland." I was like, "We've been doing comedy," and I went, "No." And he was like, "Well, you can't just fucking start an Empire. You need to like."
So you tried to start in the Pinnacle?
Yeah, but I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that like there wasn't that many places doing comedy before, but I didn't know that the Pavilion existed or. You know, there was a club in McHugh's at that time. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
I was only going to the Empire and the club in Queens, the Mandela.
Right.
And then about 4 or 5 months after I started, I got my gig in the Empire and it went well. And then just kind of kept on it. Like, yeah.
And is that the future and just comedy?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I like doing music with
there-
comedy, but
Is there a retirement age for comedians or just go forever?
No, dude.
you can chubby brown it and just, you know,
Go forever.
be a racist cunt. No,
All right.
you can be doing. I mean, you can be gigging as long
Bill,
as you
Bill
want, but you're
Cosby's
always.
going on tour again.
You're-
After you get freed.
Is he actually?
He's back.
Oh my!
Is he
God.
back?
on in.
Doing it.
He's planning a tour.
Yeah, he's doing a cheeky 5.
Chubby Brown, that sounds like a sax act.
Yeah, it does. Listen, we've talked enough shit today. Usually when we have guests on, we'll do a wee game at the end. It's blank. You've seen it before.
I'm excited.
He always get it wrong.
Blank by a dragon claw.
So-
we're going to give you 3 names.
Yeah.
What's this? Say it again.
So you have to smack someone,
Oh right,
blank someone, or bite him a dragon
right.
claw.
And you
with
give
it.
us the names.
And you
Yeah.
give
Right,
me the
okay.
name, and you have to pick who it is.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
so we're going to give you your cousin, Nicky
Right.
Bartlett, Shane Todd, and your brother.
Oh. Oh shit. Well, I'll buy Kev a drink, even though
Dragon.
I'll buy Kev a Dragon Claw.
See, I could- no.
Actually, sorry. Let me take this back.
I'd be
I would
smacking
buy Kev. I would buy Kev a Dragon Claw, but he doesn't drink, so smack him. And that gets me out of it. I'll happily blank Shane, but I want to blank him in a way where I look at him when I'm doing
The
it.
thing is,
just-
Shane probably
No,
blanks
yeah.
So you
Shane,
go, well, what's happening, Kieran?
I just go,
and then you're
and then I'll what do you call it?
Buy a
I'll
drink
buy Mickey a drink.
okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
This
Yeah.
should be the first smack blank bad dragon claw that we film.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
actually just did.
Smack your bra, blank
Speaking of getting
Shane.
smacked, my arm, mate. Oh my god.
yeah, I'm not sure. We're going on this in the Patreon, well, because we want to do a 15-minute
All right,
Patreon.
okay.
But a lot of requests for you to smack me.
No.
Or
I'll
for
break my
Tommy to
fucking hand.
smack you.
No. Somebody said that to me straight after. I went, "Oh, you should get Tommy to do the other arm now." And I went, "Should I? Should I?" I was like, "I can hardly fucking move this arm."
It was a piece. And you know, see, as soon as it landed, I just knew it was a beautiful
It
shot.
sounded so great.
It was. Do you know, like when you see some golf swing, someone said this the other day about it. I think it was on your podcast. It's like a golfer's swing, and it's just you hear perfect
Yeah, you
hit.
just hear the ping. Yeah.
That's what it was. Just boom, perfection.
It was mental though. I literally, oh mate, I was
It's a
so,
weird request.
I was
It
so,
was a real weird request.
it was, but it was so naive
You
about
must
it
have been
because
eating vocal tablets
I knew it would
before.
hurt. And I know it's gonna hurt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna fucking wreck my life. That's what I was saying.
Well, you couldn't go to Joxers and pick up your
I
fucking
couldn't use my fork.
your joff.
Just
What's it
doing-
called, joffle?
Just doing my chaffles with fucking just with a spork, you know. Just my
I actually
rifle.
have had another mad request boxing ways. Someone mailed me. He's mailed me quite a few times. When I was in America training, and he used to mail me to go to the gym, and he wouldn't wear gloves, and I was allowed to wear gloves and beat him up, and he'd pay me $50 to beat him up. But and he
Jesus.
kept asking for it, and I was like, "That's weird, man. I'm not going to batter you." He said, "I just want to feel what it's like getting beat up by a pro boxer." But obviously, it's a wee kink he has.
Well, see, I must have a similar thing. I'm not gonna pay you and go. You wear gloves and we'll both be in shorts. I'm just going like, I've always because I tried to get this was the thing. I tried to get McConaughey to do it.
I heard it was going
tried to
about-
get Paddy Barnes. To
It was
do it,
the grapevine was going with Kane
yeah.
Barlow on Smack, and then when I was asked, I don't know that.
You
Don't
got
fucking
the
say
wrong
that.
guy.
Somebody will clip that and it'll just go out now. You go and Kieran Bartlett wants smack. Nobody will be shouting Banshee Bones anymore. Just be getting fucking
Something like
dead.
hard behind.
Well, listen, thank you for joining us this week.
It's been great. Thanks for having
You're
me.
legends. Get on, subscribe to Patreon, buy the tickets for the field.
Yes.
Buy
9th
Kieran's.
of August, we're on. What day
I
is
think
it?
I must be.
You're
is
11
it the
or 12.
11th or 12th?
One of them, but you'll see it anyway.
11th, I think.
And then also get on the second night in SSE because it's going to be some night.
Yes.
And join us on the Patreon
Patreon.
where we're going to be doing a challenge with
The
Kieran.
Goblin King himself.
He's sponsored by, or he's endorsed by Tato.
Endorsed.
So we're going to see how well his taste buds know Tato over
The
Walker's.
dustbin hanging in a balance.
It really is.
Do you know that I've actually literally tried? I don't know if you've noticed. I am in the process of trying to get Adidas to sponsor me.
Fuck off.
I love it. Are you?
Fucking Rick, get all the sponsors
Yeah.
down. But thank you.
You must
Like,
sponsor us too.
like and share and subscribe. Thank you. Boom.
Thanks.